Hello and welcome to this meditation to meet your future self. Now this meditation is perfect if it's the new year, a new month, or the new moon. Now it doesn't matter if you're not visual, because if you're not visual, you can think, see, feel, sense, or know things into place. Now I often meet people who say, I can't do meditations or visualizations because I'm not visual. But here's the beauty is you can, as I've said, think, see, feel, sense, or know things into place. So you will be perfectly okay. So here's a few tips before we start. You can sit or lie. It is absolutely up to you. Hands, you can place them where they feel comfortable to you. Now, if you're lying down, you might want to have them placed up. You might want to have them on your legs. I usually place one hand on my heart and one on my solar plexus, or both hands on my heart. I feel much more comfortable like that. And I tend to lie down. I also tend to go to sleep quite a lot. So if that happens to you, don't worry. You can watch this another time and, get all the benefits for when you do manage to stay awake. Now I'm going to say things to you like, imagine that you've got roots growing from the bottom of your feet, going into Mother Earth. Remember, you can think, feel, see, sense, or know those things into place. Now, I've had people who found it very, very difficult to imagine roots. And I said, all you need to do is go roots to Mother Earth and they'll be there. So what you're wanting to do is to ground, is to imagine, you've got your feet on the ground and you're really anchored in and you're settled into a really peaceful place. So that's where we want to be. What I'll do is invite you to breathe into your heart. That's why I always have my hands on my heart. So I can imagine, feel, sense, know, think that breath into my heart. And you need to let go. Just let it all go. Let all the tension of the day just disappear. Now, something that's a really good idea is to scan your body. Now, for anything like me, you grind your teeth and my shoulders are up there. I have a weekly massage and every time I go, she goes, I can't believe your shoulders are like this. And, it's because I'm sat at my desk the whole time. So it's just a good idea while I'm talking is just imagine that you've got an X-ray going along your body and feel into all those places where you're holding tension, Let those hands go. Bring those shoulders up and let them go. If you're anything like me, we tend to hold a lot of tension in our upper bodies and certainly in places like our hands. Your buttocks, you'd be really surprised. So you could squeeze those buttocks together and go, let them go. Now, the other good thing that you can do, is to put your tongue behind your teeth. And that's going to touch something called the vagus nerve, which is one of the longest nerve systems in the body. And it's just going to relax you. And it's literally tongue behind your teeth. And that's how you're going to get the most out of a meditation is just, let it all go. Get all those bits out and practice with all of these different things until you find something that really does suit you. Now, what I always do, new year, new month, new moon, is I get my journal and I go to the next blank page. Do I have any blank pages in my journal? And what I do is it's really, really simple. So if you've got a bit of paper or you've got your journal to hand, you can do this. If not, you can do it later. And literally what you're doing is you're placing your hand on one of the sheets of paper and then you're drawing around it with a pen. So when you've drawn, I'm going to do it really, really quickly. So when you've drawn around your hand, this is going to look awful because I haven't done it very carefully. So my hand looks a bit strange. I don't know if you can see that. What I do is I hold my hand on that hand that I've just drawn. And I just want to focus on what my intentions are for the coming period. and you may get a picture, a sound, a colour, a smell, something coming into your head. Now, I did this yesterday, and the word that I got is focus, and I know why I've got the word focus. So when I came to write my intentions, it was around the areas that I wanted to focus on. Now, the next thing I ask you to do is go and find the next blank sheet and write down a question that you want to ask your future self. So what is that burning question that you have? Now, I'm going to ask you, don't censor anything. Whatever comes into your head, write that down. Because you might be sitting there thinking, well, actually, what I want to know is blah, 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 blah. But then your self, your higher self will know that it's a different question. Write it down, because you never know what's going to come up. It'll be really, really interesting. So, okay, we have done our hand. We've got our question. You've got some tips on things to do, like putting your tongue at the back of your teeth. So we're going to start and connect. And the first thing I'm going to invite you to do is just rub your hands together and bring your hands to your heart. If you want to close your eyes at this point, close your eyes and imagine that you've got roots growing from the bottom of your feet into the heart of Mother Earth. And I just want you to take those roots down and down and down and connect to whatever's there. And just make a note of what it is. It might be a colour, a crystal, a rock, who knows. Do that little body scan and just let go of any tension that you're holding. And then I just invite you to take a nice deep breath and let it go. And another one. Let it go. And one more time. And let it go. Just let everything go. Just get yourself comfortable. Maybe you could just move your body and get yourself just a few more bits comfortable. Just ease everything out and just feel at peace and at ease with the world. Now, what you want to do is to imagine that there is a portal in front of you, and this portal contains all of the colours of the rainbow. And you're going to start to walk towards it. When you get there, I just want you to stand for a moment, take some nice cleansing breaths and stand in the energy of the portal and let all of those colours and all of that energy just completely wash over you. When you're ready, step through the portal. In front of you is a rainbow pathway. Just follow the path and notice how rich and vibrant the colours are. You're walking through red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo and violet, and you feel so at peace. You're walking towards this meeting with your future self. It's quite exciting. You don't know what they're going to tell you yet. You've written down your question, something else might come up. So as you're walking along, you're just letting all of those things mull through your head. And I would invite you to notice what comes up for you. Are there any emotions or feelings? Are there words that are jumping out? Now remember, you can remember everything. Everything you see, feel, sense, know, think, you will remember it all. Think of the words, the images, the colours, the sounds, the smells, and maybe there's nothing, and that is perfectly okay. As you reach the end of the pathway, you see your future home in front of you. You reach the front door, make a note of the colour. The door is open, you just push it further open and you wander in. On the hallway table is a newspaper. Just take a little peek and note the date. Up ahead you can see a door open and a light on. You're feeling very curious. You walk up to the door and take a little peek in. And there, sitting on the most glorious, comfortable, beautiful sofa, is your future self. They're gazing out of a beautiful, amazing, huge window out onto the most luscious, luscious landscape. You take a note of the room. You look at the colours, the furnishing, the smells, the light, the pictures on the wall. It is just as you would have designed it. It's perfect. You watch yourself for a few moments before going in. Your future self notices you and calls you to join them on the sofa. In front of you is a little table with a beautiful teapot and little cups and tiny little beautiful cakes. You are dying to taste one of these cakes. So you take the drink, you take a bite of the cake, and you get settled back into the cushions and really get yourself comfortable. They turn and they smile at you and they ask, "What would you like to know?" Now you have a burning question. It may be the same one that you wrote down earlier, or it might be completely different. Have an open heart and an open mind and ask your question. Your future self pauses and then smiles. They nod their head and place their hand on your arm and tell you, you can do this. They then turn to you and begin to describe the steps that you need to take to reach your goals and get what you want. You note everything they tell you. Remember, you are going to remember everything. You listen really closely. You're taking in every word and memorizing all of the information. They tell you that even if you don't remember the things that they have told you, over the coming days, more of the steps will come to you. So just take in every word. Think of those steps. Think of you stepping on a pathway with stepping stones. You can see it really, really clearly. You take this step, and you take that step, and you take that step. And it's all making perfect sense. You sit for a while and ponder over those steps. Some of the things will be new to you. Some of those things will be things that you already know. You just haven't put into action. But you get such clarity. They ask you if you have any other questions. You ask and listen. Say thank you, and when you have finished, they give you a wooden box. Inside the box is a key, and they tell you that every time you need to know something from them, all you have to do is meditate. Imagine that you've got the box in your hands. Open the box, take the key, hold it in your hand, and they will meet with you. You take the box and the key and you say thank you. Look around the room. What else is there for you? What stands out? What do you feel, sense, know, think? What is the room trying to tell you? What else do you need to bring back? When you finish looking around the room, say thank you. And say that you will see them soon, and it's been an absolute pleasure listening to everything that they have got to tell you. You walk out through the house and you're back along the rainbow path. You come back to the rainbow portal and you stand once again in the energy, remembering the things that you have been told. you turn and say thank you one more time. You step out of the portal and along the path to where you are now. You are back in the room. Bring your breath, awareness and hands to your heart and just slowly breathe in and out. And just recall some of the things that you have been told. Remember that you will get more messages and more signs as each day goes by. Take a few deep breaths, open your eyes and stretch those arms out wide. Really, really stretch and stretch and stretch. And welcome back into the room. Now my next invitation is for you to get your journal and start writing. Whatever comes up, just write and write and write. 10 minutes, that's all you need to do. Just scribble anything. You might have a mind map. You might draw little pictures that you saw. There might be words that stood out. Remember, what is going to happen over the coming days is you are going to get more signs, more pictures, images, words, smells. Something's going to trigger a memory of the things that your future self told you. So write those things down. What would work really, really well now is to let that go. When you finish writing, just let it go. Put your journal under your bed and under your pillow tonight. Sleep on what happened. And then when you wake up in the morning, sit and write for another 10 minutes of anything else that comes to you. Now, there's one final thing that I would love to leave you with to close this session with you. And I've got a book called The Little Book of 101 Affirmations to get you through the day. So I'm going to give you an affirmation to work with. So I'm going to flick this book randomly. And we are going to have this affirmation. And the affirmation says, today my heart is leading my story. When you create stories in your heart, see them in your mind, follow their call, life changes in unimaginable ways. Now, the thing with an affirmation is, I always say, when you pick up an affirmation, notice where the resistance is. Now, often, so if my heart is leading the way, hang on, my heart is leading my story. So that's about perfect for what we've been doing. So we're following a pathway and we're letting our heart lead as opposed to our head. Now, you might be feeling massive resistance. There's no way my heart's going to tell me what to do. I've got to do this, this and this. Notice that resistance. Write it down in your journal. And the great thing about affirmations, or mantras as they're called, is if you keep saying them, then you'll start to get into that feeling and that flow with it. But like I say, the first thing to do is notice the resistance and then ask yourself some good questions. How could I let my heart lead my story? What would happen if I did? How will I feel when my heart does it? So bring in all the different senses. And at the end of the day, sit with your journal when you're in bed and just reflect on what has happened during the day while you've had this affirmation, my heart is leading the way. So my name is Dale. You can find me at dalediley.com, and I really, really hope that you have enjoyed this meditation visualization with some journaling stuff, and I hope that you have a great new year, a great new month, and if it's the new moon, a great new moon and a fantastic kickstart into whatever it is your heart desires. So take care and lots of love.